In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to build a WordPress website on Elementor Cloud. We're going to build out this one called Moonly. This is using an Elementor Cloud website kit, which makes it super simple to build out awesome websites. This is an e-commerce site. I'm going to show you how to add your logo, edit the main navigation, edit the footer, how to edit all the content on the site. I'm going to show you how to configure your Elementor Cloud to work most efficiently for your business. I'm going to show you how to add WooCommerce and how to add products and how to add a payment processor so people can actually check out and pay for your products so that you can ship it to them after they pay. I'm going to show you how to add your own custom domain instead of using the Elementor Cloud subdomain. And I'm going to show you how to launch the website as well. And we're going to do all of that in this tutorial. I also have all the chapters for this tutorial down below, so at any point if you want to jump back and forth to specific areas, just find where you want to go in the table of contents down below and click the link. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I try to answer them the best I can. And if it's your first time here, make sure you click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Now let's get started. If you want to follow along with this video, or if you want to get started with Elementor Cloud, click the link in the description down below. It will take you to this website. And that link is an affiliate link. So if you end up purchasing through that link, I end up getting a commission from Elementor for your purchase. It does not make it more expensive for you. It just allows me to keep making these videos for you. So once you're on this website, click on choose your plan. And we're going to choose Elementor Cloud. We'll talk about the pricing and why this pricing is better than most others you can find if you're building this one website. And we'll get to that at the end of the video. First, I want to show you how awesome it is. There's also a website builder option, which is just Elementor Pro, that is included in Elementor Cloud. So this price right here, $99 a year, gives you everything you need to build a skookum website. Click on Buy Now when you're ready. We confirmed our plan by choosing Elementor Cloud. If you have an account already with Elementor, you can click on Sign In, and then you can enter your sign-in details. If you don't have an account, it defaults to Create an Account, and that'll create an account for you. I'm going to click on sign in since I already have an account, and then we enter our billing info. It's all pre-filled for my account. Then we choose how we want to pay, either via MasterCard or PayPal. I'll choose PayPal, and the cost is $99 US. And when you're ready to move forward, just click on Pay Now for credit card or the PayPal button for PayPal, checkout, and then your account will be created and you'll be logged into that account immediately. The very next screen after you pay says thank you for your purchase. You can go to my account, you can start creating your website right away. We're going to hop right into creating your website. So let's click on that. And this is going to be in Elementor Cloud. Actually, before we do that, if you already have an Elementor account, let's see where we can find Elementor Cloud inside of your account. So up here it says create a new cloud website. That'll be an Elementor Cloud website. And if you want to manage your cloud subscriptions, just head over to subscriptions. It has it right up here, or somewhere on this page. It's up here for me. I have Elementor Pro 1000 activations as well. And this is where you can manage your subscriptions. And to manage your websites, they're all listed here. Click on Create a New Cloud Website when you're ready to build your website, or right after you check out, click on that link that we saw, start creating a website. Those will take you to the same place, and we'll start building out our website. So let's give this site a name. The website we're building today is going to be about eco-friendly cleaning products. Yours doesn't have to be that. You can follow along, and this can apply to, it's going to be an e-commerce site, so it can apply to anything you're selling online. I'm just using this as an example. So I'm going to call it Clean Cleaning, because it's eco-friendly cleaning. Little play on words there, I guess. Once you have that filled in, let's zoom in here, click on Next. Your website domain will be cleancleaning.elementor.cloud. We can have our own custom domain that we add later on, so don't worry about that right now. Click on Next. What type of website are you creating? Portfolio, blog, online store, business, or corporate? It's an online store. Choose a website kit to start with. Website kits give you everything you need to build a website. We chose an online store in that question list one step ago, and so it's showing everything from the online store category. There are currently 9 in here. You can click on any one of these, and it'll show you what's inside for this kit. This kit has 10 different pages: home, about, contact, customer service, cart, checkout, legal and privacy, sales page, my account page, preview is not loading, thank you page, preview is not loading. So all these kits will have different sets of pages. This one has 7 pages. And if you choose not an online store, maybe you want to build a business or corporate website. See what's inside for this one. Local brand wireframe. 4 pages. Plus 3 different site parts. We'll get into all these things in this tutorial, but site parts are basically just components of the website. In this case, header, footer, and 404 page are the 3 custom site parts included with this website kit. And those are also included with most of the others as well. Most of them have headers and footers already built. Back to the e-commerce section. We see 8 pages here. There's always more pages for e-commerce just because there's more to do on an e-commerce website. For this video, I'm going to choose this one right here, Eco Shop. This fits in well with our topic of eco-friendly cleaning products. It comes with a homepage, cart, about, contact, customer support, legal privacy, and checkout page, and 1 pop-up built in, and 5 different site parts. This one has a lot going on. When you're ready to go, click on Start with this kit. If you want to see a better preview beyond just what you see here in these screenshots, click on Preview, and that's going to take you to the full website. Browsable, usable, clickable. The only thing you can't do in this full website is actually check out and buy something. And so there's our pop-up right there. If you want to check out the live preview for any one of the kits, do so. I'm going to click on Start with this kit to start using it. It's currently setting up our website, telling us what it's doing while we're waiting. It's on step 2 of 4 right now. Just takes a few minutes, and our hosting, our website, Elementor Pro, the Elementor Hello theme, and our website kit are all ready to go in a few minutes, which is pretty awesome. Ta-da! Your website is ready. Check your email for details about signing in. Before we click the Let's Go button, which will probably take us right to the website, let's see what this email is about. Here's the email, important info about your new website. This is the website's domain. You can go here right now and you'll see something. In this case, it's going to be a website's locked or hidden message, under construction message. You can add a PIN code to view it. So if you're working with a customer or a client, or you're building a website for them, you give them the PIN, they can log in and view the site. Everybody else at this point cannot until we turn the site on, which you can do in your account. I'll show you how to do that later. You can also have your own custom domain name here because your client probably does not want this as their domain name, and you probably don't either. So I'm going to show you how to add your own custom domain name. We can access the admin directly by clicking here. This will log us into our Elementor account probably. And here it shows us information about Site Lock. So let's click on here. We'll probably have to log in, I imagine. Log in with Elementor. Log in. Not sure the difference. Let's just click here. Log in with Elementor. Since I should already be logged into my Elementor account, it takes us right into the back end of the website. That's easy. Here it has some tutorials for you. Elementor has a lot of tutorials on their channel. There's also a lot on my channel. I've got an Elementor skills playlist, a WordPress skills playlist, a WooCommerce skills playlist on my channel. All of those will help you in building pretty much any kind of website you want. That's one of the great things about using WordPress and Elementor together is there are almost unlimited resources, almost unlimited numbers of tutorials and blog posts and information to help you create what you want to create. That said, the first thing I'm going to do is dismiss this message. And I'm also going to collapse these. That should save that as being collapsed. It just makes it cleaner and nicer when you log in. And if you want to open any one of these, just click on the down arrow. You can open. You can also add a lot more widgets in here, traffic information, sales information, using plugins and things. That's outside the scope of this tutorial, but there's definitely options to improve your WordPress dashboard. But now that our site's installed and we're logged into it, we'll be able to see how it looks. Let's go to Visit Site, and there it is. You'll notice there's pictures missing. It's not exactly how it was before because we have to go in and customize it and add our own information, add our own everything, really. Add our own logo right here, add our own menu system. Up here you can see the white as I hover. This is where the menu goes. We have to create these things for them to then show up properly inside of the website. And we're going to do all of that in this video. Before we get started, I want to also show you your Elementor account now. So let's go back to elementor.com and log into our account. We see our list of websites here that we saw earlier, and we see our new one, right here. Cleaning. We can open the WP dashboard just by clicking here, edit with Elementor by clicking here, or manage this website. I'm going to click on manage this website, and that's going to give us information on site lock, domain names, subscription details, all that good stuff. So over here, we can manage our domain names. We can add a custom domain by clicking here, and then we add these details to the domain registrar account. I will show you to do that. It's boring stuff though. I want to first show you how to edit your website and do the exciting stuff. Then we'll do the boring and min stuff like this at the end. But this is all you need to connect your custom domain name that you bought at GoDaddy or Namecheap and connect that to this website. Elementor also provides a free SSL certificate for you with the Elementor Cloud subscription. And here's Site Lock. You can turn that off by clicking this toggle right here. It's currently on, as you can see. There's also backups. There's a backup made every day, and 14 days of backups are saved. This is a full backup of your entire website. A lot of hosting providers, you pay extra for that kind of service, or you got to use special plugins on your site to do this for you. Reset WP login attempts. This is for security, so if someone tries to log into your site but they log in with the incorrect information, after so many failed attempts, they're going to be locked out. And if it's you who gets locked out by accident or your client, you can reset that right here so they can log in again. There are plugins you can use that will give you more information and more flexibility on how you define what a failed login is, how many attempts it takes before you're locked out. It shows you which IPs are locked out. And once you install one of those plugins, you'll be amazed at how many IPs, how many people, how many bots are actually trying to break into your website. It's a little bit scary, but know that there are tools there to help stop those things. Restricting login attempts is one of those tools. WordPress and script debug. This is for when there's issues. This is really developer only type stuff. It'll show errors on the page printed at the very top of the page so a developer can figure out what's going on. This will more than likely stay off until there's a serious problem on your site, so don't worry about that option. And that's all there is for managing our website. One last admin thing before we get started. The username up here is auto-generated. This is the username used to log into your site. The more complicated it is, both your username and your password, the more likely it is someone's not going to guess it and hack into your site by guessing your login details. But that does not look very nice. So I want to change that. Let's go to users and click on edit under this current user. So we can't change the actual username that we used to log in, but we can change the one that displays up here. Just going to add my first name here. You can also add your last name, and that's going to give you various options for your display name. And this could be your business name as well. Let's just say cleaning. And then you can have that be an option here for your publicly displayed name. This is for when you're creating posts in a blog, for example. It's going to show your publicly displayed name. So I'm just going to keep it simple. Nickname, Bjorn, just publicly displayed name, Bjorn, and that's good. This profile picture is automatically pulled in by Gravatar. You can open a Gravatar account. It's free, or I think there's paid versions, but you only need the free one. And then this thumbnail, whatever you set in your Gravatar account, is going to be linked to this email address. So anytime you're commenting on a WordPress site or creating new WordPress sites, it's going to automatically pull in your profile picture. Just a little bit of time savings. Now that we've updated our profile, it says Howdy Bjorn up here. That looks much more friendly to me and probably to your clients as well if they're logging in. And so that's an important change to make. Let's go to pages. This lists all the pages that we installed with our site kit. If at some point you're working with your site kit, all the pages that were added, and you think this isn't quite right for what I need, I want to try a different one. You can go to templates on the left, go to kit library. It'll show all the kits. They're displayed a little bit differently than we saw earlier, but it's all the same kits that we see here. There's categories you can choose from on the left. There's tags, which are descriptive terms that the kit creators, Elementor, has added to the kits. Kit types. And then we also have kits by plan, free, pro, and expert. Because Elementor Cloud is everything you need to build your websites, I'm pretty sure expert is included in Elementor Cloud. Let's just take a look. Click on view demo on any one of these. If you want to replace the site kit you have on your website, you can also change responsiveness, see how they look in various devices. Click on apply kit. And now it's going to say you can use everything in this kit or customize to only include some items. By applying the entire kit, you override any style settings or content already on your site. So you can use customize just to take bits and pieces from this kit to augment your current site, or if you click apply now, it's going to overwrite everything on your site that you currently have. And so this is something you don't want to do too late in the game, I guess, if you're spending weeks, hopefully not. If you're spending days customizing an existing site kit, but then you want to switch it, hopefully you can do that sooner than later. But I just want to let you know that you can choose a different site kit, and it looks like possibly experts included in Cloud. I have an expert subscription for Elementor Pro as well as Elementor Cloud, but definitely free and pro are included with Cloud, and I think expert is too, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So let's X out of here and go back to our admin and go back to our pages. Here, any of these pages, you can click on view on any one of these. I control clicked or command clicked to open the page. You can see how the page looks. You can do that for any one of these or all of them. When you're on these pages, you can also edit the components of the page. So if I go to view again, if I hover over edit with Elementor, or if I click on edit with Elementor, we're going to be able to edit the content that we see on the page, like this image, this text, everything you see, I guess, in the middle portion of the page. If I hover over here, we see we also have a footer, which allows us to edit the footer of the page, the very bottom. The header will allow us to edit the header. The discount pop-up allows us to edit the pop-up that we see when we try to exit the page. And we also have site settings and theme builder. That'll be for overall for the entire site. But these components specifically appear on this specific page, as well as others, depending how you set up the conditions for these elements to appear. And my point is, you can choose to edit any one of these, and different pages may have different components showing up here, depending on what conditions you have set. There's also other ways to get to those things. If we hover over templates and then click on pop-ups, this takes us to the pop-up. We can edit that with Elementor by simply clicking here. And we're going to get into actual editing in just a minute. I just want to show you where to find these things, because there's often multiple places to find various things. So it's important to know. And theme builder, this allows you to edit your 404 page, your footer, and your header for this website. Click on any one of these and you can edit it in Elementor. And in fact, let's start with these. Let's start with the header, because that's a pretty important thing. It's the very first thing you see on the page. Currently, it looks like this: thumbnail placeholder and nothing else. So let's click on edit. This takes us into the Elementor editor, and all the widgets and things we can add are on the left-hand side. When we're editing the header, don't worry about this little dotted box. Don't worry about the header content area down here. Just worry about this section up here. So if I click on the pencil beside this image, we see it's the site logo, and it says here we can edit the logo of your site by going to site identity. Let's click on that. That takes us inside of these Elementor settings over here. To get to here a different way, click on this hamburger icon in the top left, click on site settings, and then site identity. And the reason it's laid out this way is it's kind of confusing at first. Like, why do I click on edit the thumbnail and we have to go to a place called site identity? It's because this is global. This is going to appear on your entire site. And so they have a special spot for it, a special spot for everything that applies to your entire site. And the things that aren't global, you edit in different areas. This takes some getting used to. The site description, I'm going to erase mine. The site logo, let's see if we have any logos in here. The media library, we have the Moonly logo from our site kit. I'm just going to use that. You probably want to use a different logo, like your own, for example. All you'd have to do is have the logo image. You drag and drop it onto here. It uploads it, and then you can choose that as your logo. Just make sure it's checked. Give it alt text, Moonly logo. Alt text is text that appears when the image doesn't load. And it's also text that's used for accessibility. So if someone comes to your site, but they have visual impairments and they can't actually see the logo, they might have a screen reader that reads descriptions to them so they can visualize in their mind what it looks like. And so this would be text that's read to them, for example. We have a title. I'm going to make it a nicer title. Caption for a logo is not required. Description you can add in if you want. Click on Insert Media, and now we have our site logo, a site favicon. This is the icon that appears in a browser. That little E in the circle, that's a favicon. I bet there isn't one for Moonly. Use this quote. Sure, just to show you how it works. Then we click on Update, and now we probably have to refresh those changes to appear. So there's Moonly. The favicon often takes a while to update, so don't worry about that not being there. But there's the logo. Once you have the logo there, we can change a lot of stuff about the logo. Every single Elementor widget and element, we're going to see a lot of them in this video, have umpteen different options for you to customize them. So for image size, you can choose different sizes depending on what sizes are available for the image. When you upload an image to WordPress, it creates all kinds of variations for sizes. You often have to update, choose a new image size. You can change the alignment. You can show the caption if you want, which isn't relevant for logos. You can make it a custom link. Usually a logo on the top left is either the main website URL or is nothing at all. We can also click on this option here to show various screen sizes and see how it changes and see how it looks. And then what you define on here, so you might have it be centered on mobile device, that's not going to affect the tablet or the desktop. So whenever you see the screen, you can choose device-specific options. Every Elementor widget also has the style section. This is everything to do with the appearance of the contents of the widget. So for example, this is an image. We can define the width, the max width, the height, the object fit with various options. How does it appear normally? So as it is right now, we can also have different effects on hover. So if I wanted to make it a little transparent, you see when I hover over it, it goes lighter because it's becoming see-through. Delete that and it goes back to what it was. You also have options for borders and box shadow. And on hover, you also have animation. So you can have the hover effect appear over time with an animation if you want. This is different, but also similar for all widgets. So depending on which widget you're using in Elementor, you're going to see different options here, or maybe some of the same. Either way, there's going to be a lot of different options for you to choose the styling. And every Elementor widget also has the advanced section. This is more or less the same for every widget across Elementor, and you can apply layout specifics, motion effects, transformation effects, backgrounds, borders, masks, responsiveness settings, attributes, and custom CSS to pretty much all widgets inside of Elementor. So this will be the same for all widgets. Style will be unique to specific widgets, and so will content. Now, after all that, let's get to adding our menu. I know there's a lot of explaining to do just to make sure you kind of know what's happening, because it takes a little bit of time to wrap your head around Elementor, but it's a great plugin, great page builder. So we hovered over our main nav over here. It says here there are no menus on your site. Go to the menu screen to create one. This is a link. Let's click on that. This takes us back into the main dashboard under appearance and then menus. And really quick, I notice we have our favicon applied up here, those quotations. So it takes a little bit, but not too long to have it applied. So let's make a menu. Let's call this the main nav. Display location is going to be the header. Click on create menu. Now we're going to add the pages we want. On the left-hand side, we have pages, posts, custom links, categories. If you have various other plugins that add content types, you might have those appear here as well that you can add to your main menu. And I'm going to add about, contact, shop, and sample homepage. We'll convert the sample homepage into the real homepage. Click on add to menu. These ones can be switched out anytime you want. So whatever you add in here is not here forever. It's not set in stone. Well, it could be here forever if that's what you want, but it's not set in stone. You can come in and change them whenever you want. You can also drag and drop them to be in the correct position. The one on top is going to be on the left side of the menu, or at the top if it's a vertical menu, but most header menus are horizontal. So it's going to be on the left side. The second one is going to be the second one over, third one over, fourth one over. You get the idea. So we're going to rearrange these. You can also have submenus if you want. For example, under shop, maybe you want to have the checkout. You click and hold and drag, and you wait till that dotted line indents like you see there, and that becomes a drop down under shop. You'll see that in just a minute. If I click down on any one of these, we have some options. I'm just going to change this from sample homepage to home, and the options are the same for all of them, unless you have a specific plugin installed that extends the options you have in here. Click on Save Menu when you're ready. The Manage Locations tab allows us to choose where the menu should appear. We already chose header earlier, but if I click on Manage Locations, it shows the header there as well, because that's where we chose for it to be. So if we go back into the Elementor editor, click on Update to make sure that any changes we made are saved, then refresh, we should see our navigation menu appearing up there. And there it is. When I hover over shop, you see the drop down, which is enormous. That can be fixed, obviously. Click on the pencil icon. We see we have content options, just like we saw for our logo image, but they're different because now we're working with a menu system, not an image. And so we have different options. And there's so many options for all the different Elementor widgets. I can't possibly go through them all in this one video. But luckily on the various playlists on my channel, I go through pretty much every Elementor widget that comes with the Elementor add-on. There are also a lot of third-party Elementor add-ons that I cover some of them, but I cover pretty much every widget that comes with Elementor, the page builder itself, in the free and pro versions. Under style, we can make edits to the main menu, which is the one we see here. I'm going to change the typography to be a different font. Let's choose this one right here. Choose on the planet, and you can see global fonts. These can be defined in the settings, the site settings we saw earlier up in the hamburger icon. So you could have specific typography that are for or defined for the website you're building, and you can just choose the appropriate ones from here. And then if you ever make changes inside of the site settings for typography, it applies them to all the instances where you have this chosen. That's the smarter way to do it than what I just did, but both of those options are available for you. You can also set the color, choose whatever color you want, and transparency as well. And a lot of the settings in Elementor have this little stacked cylinder here. These are dynamic tags. So you can have it dynamically defined from other places in your website to apply certain settings throughout your Elementor build. You can have a divider. I kind of like the divider. I want to make it a double, and I want the width to be that's good. Very small, a little bit higher, a little bit taller. As I'm changing on the left here, you can see the changes being applied on the right. And all these settings, they're so easy to change. Just change them to something, see what happens to the thing you're working on. If you don't like it, change it back. Super simple. The drop-down shows you options for specifically the drop-down menu. If you're editing on mobile, like say you're in responsive mode down here, you're in mobile mode, then all of the changes you make here are going to be applied to the entire menu for mobile mode. And checkout's much better size on mobile. But the typography is different, as you can see. So we want to make sure we have the same typography, which we can do again as a global setting or just manually like I did right there. We have the same typography now, and there's options for the toggle button. This is this one right here. This hamburger icon and X. When I click on it, now it's an X. So that the toggle button is options for that. There's so many options. It's both glorious and adds to the learning curve because you can do pretty much anything with Elementor. It just takes some time to learn. That's all. Click on update, and we finally have our header done. And if we go back out to our website, we should see our header. And there it is. There's our logo. There's our menu. About is underlined. The drop down's still a little large. Got to look into that. But the about is underlined because that's where the page, or that's the page that we're on. As we scroll down, you can see there's a white background. That can, of course, be changed. Just click on the section settings. That's usually where the background color is for the header. Click on style. For the background color, you can choose whatever color you want. You can also choose background colors for the columns. So this icon right here indicates a column. It can be a specific background color just for that. So as you can tell, there's so many options. You just need to use Elementor for a little while to figure out where all the different settings are and what they apply to. For example, the widget settings versus the column settings versus the section settings. But eventually you'll get the hang of it. And it makes editing a website and building websites super, super easy. So our header's done. Let's edit the footer. The footer area is at the bottom. So we got to scroll all the way down. This is it right here actually. But here we can edit the footer. And the footer looks pretty solid. The only thing I might change is the menu. Change that to footer navigation. So let's go back to menus. Let's create a footer menu. Create a new menu, footer nav. locations of the footer, create menu, and here we're going to have customer support contact about legal and privacy. Pretty generic stuff. Any page that you add under pages is going to show up in this list as well. Click on save menu. We're going way faster this time because we already went over this stuff with the header menu, so we can go faster. Click on the pencil icon to make sure we're editing the navigation widget. We can also see up here, edit nav menu, to show what we're editing. Under menu, only shows main, even though we made a footer. We have to refresh. So let's refresh. If you made any changes, make sure you update the page first before you refresh. Click on the pencil icon for the menu again, and it automatically applies footer because it detected that we applied footer as a location, and we see our footer menu right there. This is an email opt-in that I don't think is connected to anything. So if we click on the pencil, we see the options for changing this field or this form. It's a form widget. We have the email as an input. You can add more inputs if you want. Let's make it your name. Placeholder your name. Not required. Let's move it up to the top. And that's how easy it is to add more fields if you want. I'm going to keep it just as email in this case. And the actions after submit is what I'm interested in this case. And we collect submissions and we also email. So inside of Elementor, inside of the website, it's going to collect submissions and show them there. You can see where that is here under collect submissions. If you click on there, it'll take you right to it. Elementor and then submissions. It'll show everybody, a list of everybody who filled out the subscribe form. And then email is going to send you an email with this information to show you someone signed up. But you can also connect to autoresponders. If I click on the plus right here, we can connect to MailChimp, Drip, ActiveCampaign, GetResponse, ConvertKit, MailerLite. Those are all the autoresponders that are built into Elementor. So you choose them from here, and we have to define some information in the settings, but you can easily connect to an autoresponder in that way. You can also use a webhook. This will allow you to connect to services like Pabbly and Zapier, which will allow you to connect to many other services, including autoresponders that aren't listed here, if you want to do that. So really quick, the settings for autoresponders, if you want to connect those, if we come back out here, go to Elementor and then settings and integrations. If we scroll down, we see our MailChimp API key. We need to put that right there. Click on this link to find it. Drip API key, click on that link. ActiveCampaign, click on that link. You get the idea. You fill in the data for your autoresponder if you have one of these ones and link them up. Super simple. And then everybody who subscribes through this footer or wherever you put this widget can be anywhere. Currently it's in the footer, but it can be anywhere. They will automatically be added to your mailing list, which is awesome. We have some social widgets here. You want to make sure these link to your actual Facebook page, your actual Instagram, your actual Twitter, or whatever other social media platform you use. Click on Add Item, and let's go to Icon Library. We can choose from a lot of different options. Currently, it's filtering just the social media and popular website category. So you can choose any one of these. Let's choose Pinterest. Insert. Now we got a fourth item here, Pinterest. Add your Pinterest link, and then that icon is going to link to Pinterest. Last thing I want to change on the footer is the text size. Subscribe to Moonly News is a little too big. I can either just change the text to have it be shorter, maybe just subscribe to Moonly, and that makes it shorter and fits right in, or I go to Style, Typography, and just choose a different size for the text. Just scale it down until it fits in, and it's a nice size that we like. And when you do that, you also want to make sure it works on various devices. So click on responsive mode down here, choose the tablet, make sure it still fits how you like it, choose the phone, make sure it fits how you like it, and make adjustments if necessary. Now our footer is done. Let's click on Update. Now we have our header done and our footer done. Let's go to our pop-up, which is another global item in this template. Go to Templates and Pop-ups, go to Edit with Elementor, and here we edit our pop-up. This is it right here. We can see how it looks in different modes and make changes accordingly. And the changes you make on the specific tablet or phone or mobile size, those will only apply to those devices. and any changes you make here. And you can go ahead and make any changes you want. You have all the Elementor widgets available to you on the left-hand side here. You can drag and drop them. You can click on the pencil icon to edit the specific ones that are here. There are Elementor widgets for pretty much everything you'd want to do. And if there isn't, you can probably get an add-on, a third-party plugin for Elementor or for WordPress that adds more widgets for Elementor. So once you have that specified how you want and the pop-up looking how you like, you just save it and you're all done. And pop-ups are unique in that you might not want to show them to everybody all the time. So there's conditional options. If we click on the up arrow right here, we can choose display conditions. And this allows you to choose where you want this pop-up to be displayed. So you can include the entire site, which is currently what we have, or it can be just archives or singular, which means blog posts. You can also exclude places. So you can exclude blog posts, all of them, or specific types, or you can even add URLs, I believe. You can choose different archives to exclude if you want. You can also close this and it's entire site by default. The triggers, this is what triggers the pop-up to be displayed. There's an on-page load trigger, which is when the page loads. If we turn this on, we can set the number of seconds to delay as well, if you want to delay it. At 0, as soon as the page loads, the pop-up is going to show up. On scroll, you can choose how far they have to scroll down the page, whether they're scrolling up or down, and how far they go down. On scroll to element, you can choose an element they get to on the page, and then the pop-up appears. You choose this. You choose the class as the selector for the element. If we go to footer, for example, let's just click on this pencil. Go to advanced. We have CSS classes here, so everything can have a class. So let's type in here footer subscribe without the period. If you're familiar with CSS or classes in general, they normally have a period in the front, not the back, in the front. When you're putting the class in here, do not add the period. So let's copy this and then update. Now that class is applied to this element. And now for our pop-up, we put in the period, paste in our class name, and now the pop-up is going to appear when you scroll down to this class. It can be on click, a certain number of clicks can be set there. It can be after inactivity, so someone's on the page. Maybe they're reading something on your website. Maybe they've left the computer, but your page is still open. You can have the pop-up show up after an inactivity, and exit intent, which we have currently set up. And there's still more under advanced rules. You can show after X number of page views. Define how many pages they view in one session. So if they view your home page and then your about page and then a blog page, it would then apply one of the triggers that you have set. So after this number of pages are viewed and they're trying to exit, then you show the pop-up. Or after X number of pages are viewed and they've scrolled down 50%, then show the pop-up. So these work in conjunction. After X number of sessions, that's the number of visits to your website. Show the pop-up up to X times, 3 by default. You can change this to whatever you want, 300. And this counts on open, so when the pop-up appears, or you can also have a count when they actually close the pop-up. When arriving from a specific URL, so if they were coming from google.com, you could show a specific pop-up. If they're coming from facebook.com, you could show a different pop-up. When arriving from search engines in general, external links, internal links, those are the 3 options we have. So you can have different pop-ups showing for different types of categories of pages they're arriving from. You can hide for logged in users. So if you have a site where people log in, you can hide for certain people. You can show on specific devices. You can show on specific browsers. These are the options here: Internet Explorer, Chrome, Edge, Firefox, and Safari. What you've probably gleaned from this is you can have as many different pop-ups as you want and have them targeted to all kinds of different situations. So if you have an e-commerce store and say you want to show pop-ups only to people who come from your Etsy store and who view 3 different pages on your site, you can have a specific pop-up that says, hey, we love Etsy too. If you buy now, get 20% off, or something like that. But then it's specific to where they came from. And so you can personalize your pop-ups, which is very powerful for marketing. Now that we looked at the pop-up, we can edit the actual page content of various pages. When you're in the Elementor editor, to exit it, click on the hamburger icon, go to exit to dashboard. It'll ask you if you want to leave, if you haven't updated. Click on update to make sure you save any recent changes. Now if we go to pages, we can now, let's just view the page actually. We've defined our header, we've defined and customized our footer, we have our pop-up that we didn't do anything to, but we went through a lot of different options, and you can customize those as you see fit. Now I want to edit this page. So I'm going to click on Edit with Elementor. That's going to take us to the editor for the About page. And now we have the content here. We see our header at the top. You can click on Edit Header to go back to the header editor. It's in yellow because it's not this page specifically. If we click on Edit Header, it'll take us somewhere else. Everything that's in blue is on this specific page. And you click on anything, and you can edit everything on the page. Just click on the widget. You'll see the options appear on the left-hand side. If you click somewhere and options don't appear, like if I click right here, there are no options appearing. That's because this is empty space, either margin or padding. So if I go to advanced, I don't see any margin or padding applied here. If I go to this one, there's none applied there. If I go to the column options, none applied there. But there is something applied somewhere that's causing the space. So sometimes it takes a bit of time to actually find what's causing space issues. And this one over here, we have an image, but if I click on it, nothing happens. There's no image. It's the spacer right there. If I click on the column and go to style, we see it's a background image for the column rather than an image widget. So sometimes this takes a bit of clicking around to find where everything is and what it all means, but you will figure it out, I promise. And any of the things you see on the page can be edited, rearranged, resized through the options that we have available to us. And if there's things on the page or things that don't exist on the page that you want, click on this grid icon. There's so many different widgets you can add that come built into Elementor. And as I was saying earlier, there's third-party add-ons where you can add way, way more. There's a whole list of them over here. If you don't know what they are, don't know what they do, don't worry about it. Drag and drop it over. Let's choose the form widget. Let's drop it right there. And we'll see what it does. We'll see what it can do. And we mess with the settings on the left, and it will adjust in real time on the right. Let's add a bit of padding on the left. Let's make it 20 pixels and 20 on the right. So we have a little bit more of a gap. If we want to line it up with this guy, we don't know what its padding is, but we can just press the up arrow just to keep adding padding. And yeah, that's it right there. 39, probably the same over here. That's about right. So you just make adjustments. If you don't like what you just did, just delete the widget. Right click on that little pencil, delete, widget's gone. Start over, try something else. There's so many different things you can do, but you can't break anything really in here. This is a no code interface, Elementor. So you can't break anything. You might not like what the result of your work is, but you can always change it. And there's so many workflow enhancements Elementor has that make your life so much easier. Like if I right click on this pencil, we can duplicate that section. Let's delete that again. There's so many workflow enhancements Elementor provides. It just makes your life so much easier. For example, down here, let's say the title. I want the title to be a different font. Let's choose that one. And I want it centered. Let's change the color too, actually. Let's change it to pink. And now I want all my headlines down here to be the same. So I could go in and go through all the settings again, or just right click on this one, click on copy, right click on this one, and click on paste style. Boom. Everything's applied exactly how I had it. That makes your life so much easier. It's amazing how much that helps. There are third-party add-ons that go even higher level than this. So you could have, on different websites, you can paste styles back and forth between different websites, which you can't do with Elementor out of the box. You can paste sections from different websites using some of the third-party add-ons. It's powerful stuff working with Elementor. And when you're all done, make sure you click on Update to save your changes. And if we go back to our dashboard, I'll quickly show you how you can find third-party add-ons. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of free ones. There's a lot that cost money. In fact, usually the ones that cost money, they have a free version, and you get more stuff when you pay. If you go to Plugins, then Add New, and then look up Elementor, on the right. If you don't know any specific names for Elementor add-ons you want to install, click on Elementor and we have 1,036 results. Some of these just add one widget. Some of them add up to 50 widgets. And there are lots of them. You can see the star rating, you see how many active installs they have. It's basically endless. What you can do with Elementor and WordPress together, there's no limit. It's amazing. So we were at our pages over here. We were customizing the About page. You'd want to go through and customize every single page to make sure it is what you want to have. And one of the very important things we have on this Elementor website kit is a store, a shop. So let's go to shop. This is just a shop page, nothing really going on. We want to actually have a store that we can use to sell stuff. Now for that, we have to install another plugin that was not installed when the website kit was installed. Let's go to plugins, add new, and look up WooCommerce. This is the #1 e-commerce platform in the world. I'm not going to say it's the best one, but it's the #1 because it integrates with WordPress and a lot of the base functionality is free. That's probably why it's so popular. It has over 5 million plus active installs. A lot of great reviews, updated in the past 2 weeks. Now that's installed, we click on activate and we go through the setup wizard here if you want to. You can also skip the setup wizard. I'm going to quickly go through it just to show you how it all works. I just fill in some dummy data here, real email address, but the rest is dummy data. Choose to get tips, product updates, and inspiration straight to your mailbox, powered by MailChimp. You can choose to get that or not. It's up to you. Click on continue when you're ready. No thanks for non-sensitive data sharing. You can choose which industry you're in. I'm going to choose home, furniture, and garden because this website we're building is about cleaning products, which would be home. Could be health maybe as well. You can only choose one product or one category there. What are we selling? Physical products. Choose the ones that apply to you. You can also have memberships, bookings, bundles, and customizable products. And there's a cost associated with those per month if you use the WooCommerce add-ons for those. You don't need to. If you're building these out, there's other options you can use that aren't the WooCommerce options that are way cheaper or even free. So before you sign up for one of these, make sure you've looked around to see if this even does exactly what you want. And if not, there are other options available to you. Click on continue when you're ready. Tell us about your business, how many products, 1 to 10, not selling anywhere else. You can choose if you're setting up for a client or not. This is really just a survey for them, for their information. Now we have a checkbox here to add recommended business features to my site. Click this down arrow, shows you what they are. Accepting credit cards with this plugin, printing shipping labels with this one, automated sales tax calculations with this one, enhanced speed and security with Jetpack, level up email marketing with MailPoet, drive sales with Google listing and ads. They're all free, but they also come with paid components if you want those things. I'm going to uncheck these ones. It's going to keep these 3, which are core to selling physical products online. Accepting payments, printing shipping labels, and automating sales tax. That's going to install those 3 plugins. Click on continue when you're ready. Now we can choose a theme. This doesn't really apply to us because we're building this out through Elementor Cloud. It detects that we have Hello by Elementor as our currently active theme. I'm going to click on continue with my active theme to keep that as it is. Now WooCommerce, the plugin is installed. We still have to go through a bunch of things to actually be up and running. There's a little checklist here to figure out what we have to do next. If you click on home under WooCommerce, it'll always take you to this checklist. Let's click on add my products. I'm going to start with a template, physical product template, go. And this just lays out a product concept and you go in and you fill in all the information. So let's give this product a name, cleaning spray, keeping in line with our clean cleaning business. It automatically created a URL called hoodie with logo. That's not right. Click on edit. Change that to cleaning spray. This will be the link to find this product. And that hoodie with logo, that's just part of the template. Normally it pulls the URL from the text you have up here. This is the description. I'm going to keep it as lorem ipsum text, but this is where you'd add a description of what the product is and how it benefits people. Then we choose the product type. In this case, we have simple product. This is part of the template again. We can also choose group product, external affiliate product, variable product, simple subscription, variable subscription. There is lots of tutorials on my channel and others that go through what all these different products are and what they mean. I'm just going to keep mine as simple. It's not going to be virtual or downloadable, so I'll keep those unchecked. Regular price will be $15. Sale price will be $12. The sale price is not always on. You can choose to turn it on when you want. You can have a schedule set for the sales price if you want to schedule for it, or have a specific time frame and have it automatically done for you. You can do that here, or you can just turn the sale price on whenever you want to. You can give it a SKU and use that for your inventory management. There's shipping information, including the weight, the dimensions, the shipping class, which we set inside of WooCommerce settings. We'll look at that in a little bit. But you can define all your shipping classes for your different product types. Linked products are products that are similar that you could use for upsells and cross-sells that appear in various parts of your store. And again, every single one of these things, there's tutorials on my channel and others explaining what all these things are in great detail. So whatever you want to do in here, we got your back. Attributes gives you ways to describe the product. Color being one, you could have one being material type or size, or in my case, maybe ingredients that are in the spray. This is not a way for people to select different variations of the product. To do that, you create a variable product, and then you can create variations of all those things. Color, size, graphics, what have you, for your different product types. And advanced, we have purchase notes, menu order, enable reviews. We have a short description down here that goes in a different part of the listing. You'd have your long description up here. The short one you'd want as well, just a briefer version of the long. You can change your categories, you choose your categories. In my case, I'm going to add a new category called kitchen cleaners. And then let's call it sprays. For a subcategory, you don't have to have subcategories. And in fact, I just went as a main category. I'm just going to keep sprays selected. Then I'm going to click Save Draft because we're still working on this. I'm going to show you how to fix this category issue here. Under Products, go to Categories, and in here, go to Sprays, click on Edit, and the parent category, I'm going to choose Kitchen Cleaners. Then click Update, and then go back to All Products, go back to the one we're editing, and now we see it's a subcategory of Kitchen Cleaners. We can add tags, which are describing, where does it describe the product, add a product image. Let's see if we can find a better one. Well, there's nothing really good in here. Obviously, I have my own images for the products. I'm just going to choose this, which is a bottle with something in it. That could be a spray, who knows. That's our main image. We can also add a gallery of more product images if we want to. Let's publish this, and now that product is online. If we go to our site again, we should be able to see it. If we go to the shop, it should show our product right there. It's currently on sale. I'm going to turn that sale off if you don't want it on right now. But either way, this page that it was just fit into has all the stuff from our Elementor website kit as well. It's got our header, it's got our footer, it's got design styling from Elementor, already done. If we click on here, it shows us the shop page. And again, it just fits in so nicely because it's all done for you already. It's fantastic. Add to cart. Let's view the cart. Everything's styled nicely to fit with this Elementor theme. Proceed to checkout. This is where we now check out. This can all be customized with Elementor as well. And so when you add a shop to your site using the Elementor website kits, as long as they're an e-commerce website kit, everything just fits in. It's so nice. So if we go back to all products, we just have our one product here. You can add as many as you want. And now I want to show you how to actually accept payment, because it's one thing to set a price here, but you can't actually pay. If I go back to the checkout page here, there are no payment options. We can fill in our information here. There's our order. But here it says, sorry, it seems there are no available payment methods for your state. That doesn't really help you sell anything. So let's go into WooCommerce and then Settings and head over to Payments. And I wish I could make this Jetpack notification go away because I don't want to install Jetpack, but it keeps telling me to. Anyway, WooCommerce Payments, credit cards and debit card. You can enable those really easily. There's some setup involved. There are some things that don't require a lot of setup, like cash on delivery. Maybe that's something you want to offer your customers. Check payments could be something you want to offer as well. Just turn those on. You don't really have to set up a whole lot, even though there are setup options. Cash on delivery, just describe what's going on here. This is just information that your customer would see after they pay. And then check probably has some kind of address information. No, also just descriptions and instructions. WooCommerce payments, this is probably the one you want. You don't have to use WooCommerce payments to accept credit cards. You can also go to plugins and add new. Let's look up WooCommerce Stripe, for example. You can set up Stripe to accept credit cards on your behalf. Stripe is free. There's a 2.4% fee to process payments, but you can use this Stripe payment gateway instead of setting up the WooCommerce payments in the settings. And there's payment gateways for all kinds of things. Let's see, Peach Pay. I specifically typed in Stripe. Let's look up just payments. PayPal, Braintree, Stripe, different kind of PayPal, Netopia, Paystack, oodles. There's oodles of different ways you can accept payments inside of WooCommerce. You can have a crypto wallet connected to your store and accept payments that way. I'm going to use the Stripe WooCommerce add-on. Doesn't have 5 out of 5 stars, only 3, which is pretty low. Not sure why that is, but it has almost 1 million active installs. But we want to accept Stripe for this tutorial. So we're going to use this one. If we go back to WooCommerce and then settings again, and then go to payments, we now have Stripe credit card, Stripe SEPA direct debit, Stripe Gyro Pay, Stripe Ideal, Stripe Bank Contact, a whole bunch of different Stripe options. I'm going to choose the Stripe credit card, which is like a general Stripe account. On this page, you can easily create or connect an account with Stripe. I encourage you, if you want to use Stripe, go check out stripe.com, read more about it rather than just installing this plugin and creating an account, not really knowing what it is. So make sure you check it out, but it's basically a payment processor. Accounts are free to open. There's no monthly fee, but there is a charge per transaction. So if you sell something that's $10, well, it doesn't matter the price, but you pay 2.3 or 2.4% on every sale. So if it's a $10 thing, you'd pay 23 or 24 cents to have Stripe manage that transaction for you, which is pretty reasonable. I'm going to choose on create or connect an account. I'm going to connect an existing account, and you can choose which account you want to connect. You can have multiple accounts associated with one login on Stripe, or you can create a new account. Click on connect when you have the appropriate account selected, and now Stripe is set up. Payments enabled, payouts enabled. For webhooks, you have to enter a webhook security key. There's instructions for that right here. Most people won't need that. That's for if you're tapping into APIs or other third-party services. You don't usually need that. And you're all done. It shows down here what the billing statement will look like. If you are selling things and it looks like this, probably wouldn't look like that, but if it was like this is the transaction that shows up on someone's credit card, they'd be like, what is this? I'm pretty sure I didn't do that. And then they'd call the credit card company and try to charge it back. Maybe. But if you have it something like Clean Cleaning or your company name, hopefully that will jog their memory and they'll remember what it is. So you want to make this something descriptive. You only have 22 characters, so you don't have much space, but you definitely want to make this something that people are going to remember. Then you click on Save Changes. And now if we come back to our checkout and I refresh the page, we're going to have a lot more payment options. Payment by check, cash on delivery, or credit card. For credit card, we just enter our credit card number, expiry date, card code on the back. You can save this information to your account. This would be the visitor saving it to their account on your site for future purposes. You can have that as an option. Then click Place Order, and you've got orders coming through. At this point in the video, we have pretty much our entire site set up. We have Elementor Cloud set up. We have our site online. We have learned how to use Elementor to edit pages, edit our header, edit our footer, add subscription boxes, manipulate pop-ups that appear, or turn them off if you don't want them, how to add WooCommerce, how to add products to WooCommerce, how to set up Stripe to accept payments. And we've done this just in an hour or so, which is pretty darn fast. We haven't gone through and edited everything specifically to our needs. We've just done kind of broad strokes so you can see how it works. With a bit of time and effort, you can use these tools to create the exact website you or your client needs in not very much time. It's amazing how quickly it goes these days. Now, the last thing I want to show you before we wrap up is currently our domain name is still on the Elementor subdomain. If we go back to our Elementor account, if you recall, we got here by logging into Elementor, choosing the site we want to manage, and then click on custom domains to connect my domain. Now we have to change the A record and the C name. To see how to set this up, you can click on show me how, and I believe that'll give you instructions for different hosts, for GoDaddy, Google, Namecheap, Bluehost, Hover. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to hop into GoDaddy and set this up for you so you can see how it works. Inside GoDaddy, once you buy a domain, it's in your domains list, and we can use this newly bought or old custom domain for your Elementor website in Elementor Cloud. To do that, go to the DNS or go to the three dots, go to Manage DNS, and now we want to set up an A record, which it says right here. A record needs to be this IP address. We copy that to our clipboard. We go into here. This one currently says parked. We can edit that from parked, change it to the IP, and then click save. I'm not going to click save in this case because I don't want to actually have this pointing to Elementor Cloud, this specific website, but that's all you do for the A record. Enter the IP here, click save, and then close. Then we also have to have a CNAME record, which is this one here. So copy that to our clipboard. Go down here. There's a CNAME already. We want the CNAME www. That's what's in there currently. We click on edit. We paste in the value that we got from Elementor Cloud. Click on save. If you're in here and you don't have an A record or a CNAME to edit like I did just now, click on add, and we just create it. Choose A record, enter the @ which just means your website. So this is quite often just @ Then you enter the IP that we copied for the A record from our Elementor account. I'm not an expert in the TTL, but I see it says 600 seconds for the A record. So instead of 1 hour, you could use custom, type in 600 seconds for the A record. All the rest are usually 1 hour. There's a couple other 600, but they're mostly 1 hours for the TTL. And then we just click on add record. That creates the A record. And then we can do the same thing for the CNAME. Use www in this case. And then add in the CNAME they give us right there. TTL to 1 hour. Click on add record. Then you have your A record and your CNAME set up to point to your new Elementor website. When you do that, you then click next after you've done that, and you enter your domain name here. This is the domain name you're working on in GoDaddy or whatever your domain name registrar is. And then you can set that as your primary domain. You can also create www dot your domain name. You usually want to create both, but you usually only use one of them and then redirect to the other. Anyway, once you have that in there, click on Connect My Domain. It's going to verify that those changes have been made to your A record and CNAME, and then you're going to have your custom domain set up. And sometimes it might happen right away. Sometimes it takes up to 48 hours for these changes to take effect. So if it doesn't work right away, check back in a little while. Just give it some time. Then you have your custom domain in here, and your website is then nearly ready. Once you've finished creating everything exactly how you want it on your website, you've got your custom domain, you then go over to Site Lock, turn that off, unlock site, and now your website is live for the world to enjoy. Now the very last thing, I know there's a big list at the end here. Now the very last thing you want to do, it's very important, go back into your website, and maybe Elementor just changed this automatically, maybe it didn't. Go down to settings, go to reading, and it didn't do it automatically. You want to make sure that you uncheck this box right here. Discourage search engines from indexing your site. You want that unchecked because you don't want to discourage them from indexing your site, because if they don't index your site, they don't rank your site. So if you ever want traffic from search engines, make sure this is unchecked. Click on Save Changes when that's unchecked. And that's the last step. Now your website is live and out there in the world, ready for people to enjoy. Now something I want to talk to you about is the price of Elementor Cloud. Let's just go back to elementor.com, choose our plan. We see it's $99 a year for one website. One fixed price, no hidden fees. So all you pay is $99 a year. Maybe taxes in some places. And you might think, well, that's really expensive for one website, isn't it? Well, let's take a look. If we go to SiteGround, which is a pretty popular hosting company, I use them, a lot of people use them. Go to View Plans. For WordPress hosting one website normally costs $15 a year. They almost always have an introductory offer like this, $2.99 a month, but that's only good for a certain number of years. This sale right here is good for 1 year. Sometimes you can have it up to 2 or 3, but once the introductory time is over, you're paying $15 a month for one website. Up to 10,000 monthly visits. Elementor gives you up to 100,000 monthly visits on one website. But if you work out how much $15 a month is over the course of a year, it is $180 for one website hosted on SiteGround. If we go to HostGator, buy now, let's see what the non-introductory offer is. So here it shows $6.95. Once our introductory period runs out, which in this case is 3 years, we'll be paying $7 a month to host our one website. And that works out to $84 a year. That's just the hosting. So over on Elementor Cloud, we're paying $99 a year. On HostGator, we're paying regular price $84 a year just for hosting. And on SiteGround, $180 just for hosting. Plus Elementor Cloud gives us access to Elementor Pro, which for one website costs $49 a year. And that's included in the $99 a year. So if we were to buy the HostGator hosting for $84 and add in the $49 for Elementor Pro license for one website, we are more expensive than Elementor Cloud. And on SiteGround, it's $180 just for the hosting without a license to Elementor Pro. So Elementor Cloud for one website is a lot cheaper than going other routes. And if you consider, if you're building websites for clients, a lot of them probably only have one website. And so they are better off just paying for Elementor Cloud at $99 a year than going the other routes, which are more work to manage because there's different systems you're integrating and more expensive. But if you want to have multiple websites running on Elementor Cloud, it starts to make a little less sense if they're all for you personally or for your business. Because if we go to the website builder, let's say we get 25 licenses for Elementor Pro, that's $200 a year. On SiteGround, at $25 a month, we get unlimited websites. And that's what, 25 times 12, $300 plus 200. So that's $500 a year we'd be paying to make 25 Elementor Pro websites. Whereas if we were to use Elementor Cloud to make 25 websites, that would be nearly $2,500. So if you for yourself or for your business are building out a lot of websites for your own personal use or your business's use, Elementor Cloud makes less sense. But if you're building websites for clients and you need to host those websites somewhere, it makes a lot of sense to have them on Elementor Cloud just because it's easier, it's convenient, it's simple. And we saw in this video how easy it is to use. So if you're looking for a solution for building your websites for yourself or for your customers and the cost makes sense for Elementor Cloud in your case, I highly encourage you to click the link in the description down below, come to elementor.com, check out Elementor Cloud. If you end up buying through that link, it is an affiliate link, so I'll get a commission for that, and that helps me keep making these videos for you guys, and it does not make it more expensive for you. I just get part of the sale from Elementor. Now that you've built this awesome website with Elementor, the very next thing you should do is check out the Elementor Skills playlist to keep improving your Elementor skills. There is so much to know. This video just scratches the surface, just helping you get your site online and get it launched. But there's so much more to do. So check out that playlist. And also check out the WordPress skills playlist right here to help you learn general WordPress skills, which are also very important because Elementor is built on WordPress. So make sure you check those two out. And if you haven't done so yet, click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss new future videos. My name is Bjorn from WPLearningLab. Until next time, keep crushing it and I will see you in the next video.